front-to-back attempt, or just really go for a massive 5-man rotation flying from the behind.
So it's all gonna come down to whether or not Clay has his macro on point or not. Ladies and gentlemen, the land of Dawn beckons. Let's get straight into game number 2 of Geek versus RRQ Hoshi in this best of 5.
Alright, looking at some of the emblems right here. Quantum Charge for Vin and Skylar, so both having the... Oh, whoa, what is that?
What happened?
Clay flickering forward. I believe it's a mistake, a mistap from Clay, and Beloyski will capitalize. Throwing his stingers right at Clay.
That is...
I just said this is gonna bank on Clay.
Hey man, you should have cursed it, Eterna. This is the Eterna curse coming to fruition here.
Cast a curse be like that, but oh!
Shield Unity Ray actually wins out the retreat battle. Avoid tying him up, putting so much pressure down. It's Irad. Avoid now forced to flicker, but Beloy capitalizes on the flicker burnt earlier. Clay just steps up. Very naive, and Beloyski capitalizes.
Beloy just being so confusing here. You don't really know if he's going all in or not, and he's going to go and try just duel Irad here, but here comes Ray.
It's not a 1v1. It's a 1v2.
That's how active Beloyski is on that Hellcurt. He's always around the map. And even if you don't really get anything, the threat is still there. Now even with a Mathilda, that in theory should be able to out-trade, out-sustain the Hellcurt, at least in a 1v1. Beloyski is still just having a lot more pressure. And that is allowing Ray to just be so active as well.
Shield Unity, and look at Ray stopping Irad's maneuver. The dash from actually getting used all the way in its full range. The bottom lane as well. It doesn't look like Skylar is having a good time in the bottom lane. Dawn has the vengeance. They can try to go for the contest right now, and Irad does exactly that. A boy clears out the mid lane. Now the hard card is ready for a boy. Ray pops in that Shield Unity aggressively. Luke and Don both level 4. Finn guiding win, bringing him back into the turtle pit. Ray and Irad is getting Don, who secures it with just his damage. Physical attack. Ray gonna run away now, but the rotation comes in, and a good appraiser's wrath finds his mark. Luke with a 4-man, don't run. Wolf King as Beloyski tries to get the stingers down, but RQ will just disengage.
That's a 1-for-1 trade. Ladies and gentlemen, RRQ pick up the turtle. This is a different story than we saw in game number 1. Hang on. Beloyski forced to use his ultimate here. Nearly gets taken out, but it looks like they want to go in again.
Oh, man.
And he melts him down now with a vengeance. Dawn, I don't even think he can escape it. Finn tries to rescue him, but Beloyski on the Hellcurt picks a double kill.
All right, I stand corrected. This is a 3-for-1 trade behind that play coming in from Beloyski. With the rate that this is going, with the 1k gold lead now built up for Geek, who do you think it's worth it for?
It has to be worth it for Geek, fam. I mean, initially it seems kind of even, but now, again, Clay is just under so much pressure. He can't really go for these big roaming diversion plays. But yes, just RRQ not respecting the damage potential from Geek, fam there. Losing 2 more after the initial sequence of events. That's something they need to reduce if they really want to try and mount some kind of comeback here. The threat of the diversion still is relevant though, especially the longer the game goes with more ground to cover. But Skylar is just trying his best to stay relevant, and Vin is just torn between trying to enable the rest of the team and trying to save Skylar in this lane.
I agree that the diversion can be relevant, but who do you pair the diversion play with, right? If you want to play it now, you usually go for pickoffs, but how do you go for a pickoff? You don't have the Kaja, you don't have the Franco to go in for that single target hook, you don't have the burst necessarily just get to pair it off with. If you want to play it towards the late game, will we even get to the late game, right? What are the tools that RRQ can have? I just find this entire thing quite unfortunate. You can see how much pressure Chidera and Beloyski is having here in the bottom lane on towards Skylar. And the fact that they utilize the Luo Yi with that really good base damage in the early game and they haven't been able to capitalize it is also what is unfortunate as well, but look at this.
Don tries to poke Ray down. The Ray pops into Poisson, gets the hard guard as well. Don goes in for the vengeance, but he will be shredded down by the likes of Ray. Just Ray and Luke. 1 member down. You can say 1 member done, and the Finn and the Flicker combo, bringing Finn back, but he's still able to flicker out, as now it's going to be a 2-man engage from Ray and Beloyski on the Clay, who uses the Flicker, but a boy just ties him up from across the wall. Luke still chasing him down, looking to go for more, and that's another Appraiser's wrap, but Luke tanks it up like a boss.
It's so difficult for RRQ right now. The targeting, the decisions from Geek Fam in these fights are just so good. And they seem flustered. They're the ones who want to try and find some kind of fight, but Geek Fam are always seemingly one step ahead. There will be a trade here for Skylar, though. In the grand scheme of things, Skylar has been able to survive, not really being shut down right here. No deaths, no kills either. He went with the firmness and tenacity in the emblems, trying to survive in this lane. And so far, it's working, but you have to wonder how long are RRQ going to try and give Skylar this kind of space. Because if you look at these fights with the rest of Geek Fam just converging together, already a 3k gold deficit. I think RRQ needs to try and change things up quite soon. Looking at the items built right here, Clay is just so far behind, not a single item built. And with Beloyski having the Heptases, this means the squishier members are at even more of a threat. Kadera though,
a desperate attempt in the bottom lane, but Kadera just outplays it with the help of the hard guard. They can't even take him down, not just Yao. Skylar engaged on Clay. Gets the guiding wind to escape, but RRQ, their attempt in the bottom lane has failed.
That's just Geek Fam, again rotating and having Kadera survivable enough. And look at Luke, already tanky enough right to just stand strong against multiple members of RRQ. And considering that their winning lane is the Thamus, that should be able to bully and be used as a reliable factor right here. Whoa!
And I'm offended, straight into the damage. Beloyski will be traded, but they'll be happy with that trade. It's a shutdown to Dawn, however. So RRQ do get a little bit more value.
Man, Geek Fam just trying to make sure that there's not a single opportunity left for RRQ. And now immediately Irad comes in to try and deny Luke from protecting the turret.
Skylar though, we flanked on, doesn't have the flicker. I'm offended with a flicker combo. Now Skylar brought inside of the tier 1 up top. His first death in game number 2.
So if they were banking on Skylar as their gameplay now, it looks like Geek are now paying attention to this man. Oh, what?
A magic trick straight out of the pocket of Geek Fam. Now you see him, now you don't. Dawn disappears from the land of Dawn. Irad trying to go for the purple buff, but now it's terrified Ray chasing him down. The taunt comes through and the circling eagle as well, but look at the zoning from Luke. Finn can only just fly by and take the purple buff, but now they can't even contest for the last turtle of the game.
It looked like it was kind of going into favor of RRQ. I think they were planning to use the dispersion combo in from Clay. I mean, we don't really see the damage come through just yet because we're getting further and further into the game, and of course magic damage will be built defensively. But Clay now is picking up items, so that damage is starting to come through and the burst is starting to happen, but will it be on time? Will that power spike for Clay be on time? But here we go. Diversion play.
The bottom lane only for the roamer. Dark Knight falls, Beloyski trying to run away, and he does! Wow. Beloyski did this to RRQ at M3, does it again in Season 13 of MPL Indonesia.
Sneaky beaky, just like that, he's gone. Oh man, that was a big play that they were hoping to be able to do, and oh Dawn, he's walking into a trap.
Oh!
Dawn gonna be engaged. Dawn has the vengeance. Irad trying to buy some time in the back line as Skylar pops in. The ultimate, trying to shred them down, but look at Ray with all the sustainability. Now they can look for an engage again. A re-engage straight up. Ray gonna lock them down, but will not be able to do so. They have dealt enough damage though to try to force RRQ back out of this tier 2. No vengeance from Dawn means there's no front line that can actually tank this burst damage. Luke in the front with dash forward. And also the flask of the Oasis now. Back again onto Luke. Who has the flask, by the way? Is it just the boy?
Right now, a boy has the flask and Vinek has as well.
Ooh. Gonna go for the purple buff. Irad pops into Praesor's Wrath. Finn forced to flicker out of his own jungle. Luke finds Clay, and just like that, the burst damage comes through. What happened to the bottom lane? It's Irad, who tried to walk back to base because he was stopped from recalling by the Kingslayers.
They're walking circles around RRQ right now, and I thought that Beloyski was going to make a play onto Skylar in that mid lane. He saw him there, but I think Skylar was able to see him through in that bush. Going to be able to avoid that particular interaction. But either or, right? 7,500 gold lead for Geek. They're controlling the map. They're absolutely taking away all the resources away from RRQ, and look how fast they're shredding this Lord. They're blitzing it, they've got it, and they're going to use it to try and close out the game.
Well, for RRQ, they have to try and mount a defense, but Skylar still is farming, but he's only on 2 items right here. And even if he does get a 3rd item, Chidera, I was about to mention, was close at Holy Crystal. Now he has it. We've seen the front lines of RRQ just immediately nuked down. It's going to be even more difficult for them to stay in front. Maybe Dawn with the Vengeance can stand there for longer, but even then, it's only a matter of time. Unless RRQ can really trade back some of the damage. Clay, though, with the Nexus of Durance will have more spells to throw out, and the healing reduction. If they can really force Geek Fam to clump together, like we saw earlier in the jungle, you saw that Geek Fam were respecting the damage potential from RRQ as well. So that is something that they have to try and wait on, but with the Lord coming in, it has to be after this clear.
Do they have enough time? Wait, what's Clay on right now? Okay, he goes for Enchanted Talisman. So the damage is not quite there just yet. I thought they might be in time to go for another damage item for Clay. But the King Slayers, they're knocking on the base of the kingdom right now, and it's not looking too well. But the damage, there it is. Chidera forced to go back.
Still some respect given to the kingdom. For now, RRQ can still play within their base. Luke with a missed I'm offended. That'll mean that RRQ will be able to keep their base turrets for another day. But the siege continues from the Kingslayers non-stop as they invade RRQ's jungle constantly. They've completely taken it away from RRQ. This is not RRQ's jungle anymore. This is Geek's map.
But Skylar just secured his 3rd item, Arashi. The later this game goes, the members of RRQ will finally reach their power spikes.
Dark Knight Fall kind of isolating back. Voloisky going back away as he pops into BOD, gets it. They still take it down, done. A weird engage as he moves forward, but gets shredded down now with a guiding wind as well, getting him out. Look at RRQ, Luke with the flicker forward, and a 2-man I'm offended to lock them down. Skylar and Clay still able to flicker out, but the Appraiser's Wrath will not be able to deal enough damage. Chidera pops in Purified. Vin looks for a re-engage, circling Eagle to the back line, knocking 4 off as Dawn goes through as well. Diversion to the back, and who's it going to be doing? It's going to be Skylar in the back with the flying up against Geek Fam. But look at Luke now with a 3-man going around Wolf King. Ray chased down, still with the concussive blast, still trying to survive, but Clay finally gets the dispersion. And the Jakarta International Velodrome erupts. Voloisky knocked up, and Clay will be able to deal enough damage for Vin to assassinate one of them. I'm offended, I'll tell you right. And the Appraiser's wrapped onto a boy, but he's still able to sustain for a bit. Respecting this damage, but have taken 3 members down. No Lord to play with, but they can try to take this mid lane turret. Never mind, Luke just clears it out.
The crowd goes wild as miracles do happen for RRQ, and this is the mid-game power spike that RRQ have found. The fact that Skylar was able to get that 3rd item in, Clay also dealing out that damage as well as the displacement with his skills, and the fact that he was able to utilize the diversion to go in for a flank. Irad gets the Lord.
Zaman forced, no! The diversion gets them out! Perfectly timed by Clay. Momentum shifting.
See you later, nerds! To get the Lord to get out! RRQ
Amazing.
off the back of insane diversion plays. Now they have a full roster. They do have the Lord pushing in and the waves to play around. This is where Geek are going to be visible. They're going to be forced to deal with the waves, and they can no longer hide, at least for now. This is the moment for RRQ to try and capitalize, but they have to be careful. It's still a 4K gold advantage for Geek Fam.
The Kingslayers have forced the Kings to bend the knee up until this point of the game, but look who's knocking now. The Lord is marching down in the bottom side, and they're looking for some damage onto Ray here. That top lane is pushing, but it looks like that Lord is going to be cleared out. RRQ with that Lord, what they have been able to get.
I believe they got a turret on the bot side, but even now, Voloisky just going aggressive against Athamas 1v1. Just like that, there'll be still waves pushing for the side of RRQ, and you can see they know that. They're trying to go in the jungle and set up traps of their own to try and shut down Geek while they're still unrecovered from that sequence of events.
We have a game fact for Voloisky. In MPLID Season 13, only Voloisky managed to secure victories using Hellcurt, as he was able to pick it up 3 times with a 100% win rate. The question is, this pendulum has started to swing. Will that 100% win rate be broken here by RRQ?
Just like that, looking at the items, Rose Gold Meteor for Skylar. Even more survivability on top of Vin, who has the items as well. But now, Skylar actually has overtaken Chidera when it comes to gold. But look at this play!
No, it's Vin Look at Scott now. Oh, an all-in onto Clay who flickers out but gets chased down like it's nothing. Beloyski walks him down. 2 members down for RRQ. Now the Kingdom backing back to their base again. Beloyski with a Terrify onto Irad as they go for the shield unity as well. Irad cut off and taken out by Chidero, the burst damage.
It's not looking good. It's not looking good. If Geek can close us out, we're going to match point.
Skylar caught by the Stinger is able to flicker out in safety now, but Dawn gets eliminated even with the Vengeance and Skylar as well. The King Slayers. They saved RRQ in the regular season, but it seems in the playoffs